I've been tracking my winter capsule wardrobe for the last 90 days, and today I want to share how it went and what are some of the lessons that I learned. But before I show you all of the stats and all of that fun information, I also want to mention that winter was kind of a weird time for me. So first I was doing a challenge for my least worn items of 2022, which means that I was also wearing some items that are not in my winter capsule wardrobe. Then also we had some holidays and my husband was feeling a little bit under the weather, so we stayed at home a lot, which means I didn't really get dressed up. And then lastly, now I felt a little bit under the weather. That's why there was no video for the last, I think, 2 weeks. So that means that in total, I think I came up with 65 outfits out of 90 days. Plus also Sundays for me are days when I don't really dress up. Unless I'm going somewhere specific, I don't really bother. So that's all that I wanted to get out of the way first. Now I can share my lessons. So I'm gonna start with tops, and if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my Excel spreadsheet. This is how I was tracking everything. I didn't do anything fancy. I just put in the name of the piece, the brand, and then how many times I wore it, and I just put the data in. Nothing special. I didn't want to complicate it. So for my winter capsule wardrobe, I had 18 tops, and my most worn 5 tops were a black crew neck jumper that I wore 8 times, black turtleneck that I wore 6 times, black long cardigan that I wore 5 times, light gray turtleneck that I wore 5 times, and check turtleneck that I wore 3 times. Then for my least worn tops, I have my white lace bodysuit 0 times. I have black short sleeve turtleneck 0 times, black blazer with silver buttons 0 times, black blazer with gold buttons 0 times, and then I have polka dot button up that I wore only once. So what does this tell me is that first, I have too many tops in my winter capsule wardrobe. And specifically, I can see that all of these tops that I wore 0 times are tops that are really light. So they're kind of sheer or they're kind of lace. They're not really warm, and technically I could make them work, but I just don't really reach for them. And then the second thing I learned here is that blazers don't make sense for my winter capsule wardrobe. I love wearing them even in the summer, in the fall, and in the spring, but in the winter, because you have to kind of layer them with a coat or a jacket, it just doesn't make sense for me. So yeah, I kind of knew that I'm not gonna wear them a lot, but 0, you know, it's kind of a little bit surprising, but it's good to know. And also, as I was doing this, I didn't force myself to wear items just for the sake that I can say, oh, I wore them once or twice. I was genuinely doing my best to wear what I would wear, even if I wouldn't track anything, and then I just kind of observed myself, if that makes sense. Then for my bottoms, I had 9 bottoms in total, and I feel this is kind of a good number for me. And my most worn item are black high-waisted jeans that I wore 12 times. Then I had dark wash jeans that I wore 9 times. I had black trousers 8 times, medium wash jeans that I wore 7 times, and my leather pants that I wore 6 times. So these are kind of my most worn items. And then you can see the drop with my black shorts. I wore them only 3 times, black mini skirt 3 times, leather mini skirt 2 times, and black high-waisted trousers, I just wore them once, which is kind of expected because they're a special occasion piece. But with bottoms, I didn't really learn anything new, except that I really love black. I also learned that in my top section. You can see that in the bottoms and also in the tops, black color is just dominating. It's the most worn color that I wore in the winter, which was kind of surprising for me because I do have an orange turtleneck and a pink jumper, and I do love colors. You can see I'm wearing a red dress today, but most often I just pick black. It's just what I go for. I actually feel really elegant and stylish when I wear it, and it just makes sense for me. So that's good to know. Also with bottoms, I learned that as much as I love trousers, I just prefer to wear something that is really skinny, really slim fitted, so I can tuck things into my over the knee boots. That just makes the most sense to me. But other than that, for bottoms, I feel I have the right number, the right selection, the right colors. And here I'm really happy, and nothing special was kind of learned. Now for dresses, I had 6 dresses in total. So I had a red dress that I'm wearing today. I wore it 5 times. Then I have black cashmere dress that I wore 3 times. Then I had a really warm white wool dress that I wore 2 times. I had my pink logo dress that I wore 2 times. And then I had my black bodycon dress that I wore 1 time, that it's not really that warm. And then I also have black sleeveless dress that I wore 0 times. So for my dresses, what did I learn? That material is everything here. If I have something that it's really cozy and really warm, I'm gonna wear this dress a lot more than if the dress is kind of a more transitional dress, or even though I could technically, you know, layer it and I could have some things underneath and then I could have something really warm on top of it. I could technically do that, but I just realistically, practically, I just don't do that. And also my black sleeveless dress, I wanted to keep it in to see how much I would wear it, and surprise, surprise, I didn't wear it once because, like I said, it's a sleeveless dress, so I would have to put extra effort in it and I just wasn't bothered. What it's practical, it's what I do. And even though in theory I could wear it, but it's just too much work, and then I don't. Then I have my jackets and coats, and I had 4. So I had a black puffer coat that I wore 25 times. I had my faux fur coat that I wore 19 times, black wool coat that surprisingly I wore 14 times. And then lastly, I had my white puffer coat that I wore 4 times. So a few things that I learned here. First is that the white puffer coat doesn't really make sense for me to keep in my winter capsule anymore. I don't really reach for it. I remember when I bought it, I really wore it a ton, but then I took it to the dry cleaners, and when I got it back, I just felt that it was smaller, that it's kind of shrunk a little bit. They said no, but you know, I just felt a little bit different, and ever since then I wasn't really reaching for it. And even though in theory it sounds amazing, I just don't reach for it. So that's the first thing that I learned. The second thing that I learned is that a wool coat is still very amazing in the winter, which is something that I didn't really know, but now I know. I wore it 14 times, and that is a really good sign for me. So I can add more wool coats in the future because I can wear them in the spring, fall, and also in the winter, which is just the best. And then lastly, what I learned is that my faux fur coat and my black winter jacket, puffer jacket, are kind of the same warmth. And for me, I don't really want to have jackets that are kind of the same warmth unless they're a really different color or different design. So what I want to do is I want to replace my black puffer coat with something that is even warmer, because I feel like something like that is missing in my wardrobe. Okay, for shoes. So I had 9 pairs of shoes, which, I mean, 1 pair was kind of special occasion, so I could say 8 pairs. But my most worn shoes are leather flat over the knee boots that I wore 20 times. Then I had black Uggs that I wore 17 times. White sneakers 7 times. So these are kind of my most worn shoes. And my least worn shoes are my leather ankle booties that I just wore 1 time. Also black pumps. I just wore once for the challenge. And I had suede ankle booties that I wore 3 times. So for me, this is very clear that I love over the knee boots and I love flat shoes. This is very clear to me. So that can help me when I'm shopping for the future. And what I also learned is that I don't really like ankle booties in the winter. I think it's just the warmth thing. I like to have some kind of jeans and then over the knee boots and then a jacket. So you're really covered, you're really cozy. And I just feel that ankle booties, they don't make a lot of sense for me. So that's what I learned. For my bags, I had 6 bags in total. And my most worn bag is a black leather Saint Laurent bag that I wore 29 times. Then my Pauline black small bag I wore 24 times. Then I also had the red Pauline bag that I wore 9 times. And then my least worn bags, backpack I wore 0 times, my tote bag 0 times, and nude bag I had 3 times. In terms of the bags, what I kind of noticed, of course, I love black color. Like I said before, in the winter, it's just, I love black. I wear it all of the time, even though it's kind of gloomy. I don't really care. It makes sense for me and I actually feel great in it. So that's why I reach for it. And also I learned that I love crossbody bags, smaller bags, something that it's not too heavy, because my tote bag or backpack, it just, I don't have anywhere to go where I would need to take a lot of stuff with me, especially in the winter, because it's not warm outside. So I wouldn't go, you know, somewhere with my laptop and then work outside when the sun is shining because it's cold. So that's why I think I wasn't wearing those big bags, but nothing special here. I kind of knew that already. And yeah, I love all of my bags, even though I didn't wear them all. And then I also tracked accessories, so everything from hats and gloves and scarves and belts, because I was just curious. For my belts, no surprise, my most worn belts were the black silver belt and the black gold belt. I wore the gold one 17 times and the silver one 16. Then my 10 belt I just wore 2 times, and my waist belt I didn't wear once, which I'm thinking of potentially decluttering it. Then for my scarves, I wore my 10 cashmere scarf the most. I wore it 15 times. Then I have my white check scarf that I wore 9 times, pink cashmere scarf 6 times, purple cashmere scarf 5 times, and then lastly I have my white shawl that I didn't wear once, which I'm gonna be decluttering, I'm sure. Other than that, all the gloves and the hats, they're kind of okay. I wore them when the weather and occasion called for it. I love all of my gloves and hats, so nothing is different here. And all of these lessons are just so amazing, and that's why I also want to repeat this in the spring and in the summer and in the fall just once, so I can kind of track my wardrobe for a year and I have these amazing valuable lessons that I can use for shopping and style and, you know, just organizing my closet. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I hope you missed me, and yeah, I will see you next time.